From Nashville's WSM Radio, the original home of the Grand Ole Opry, this is a Coffee, Country, and Cody podcast.
She's a Grand Ole Opry star, a Grammy Award winner, a CMA Award winner. Got a great new Christmas single out, and she was playing the Franklin Theater. She is Pam Tillis, and she joined us on Coffee, Country, and Cody. Enjoy our podcast and relive the memories with Pam Tillis.
More Coffee, Country, and Cody is on WSM.
Would you welcome Grand Ole Opry star wearing her statement glasses? We just don't know what statement she's making this morning. Pam Tillis.
It's called I Would Like to See You.
To Coffee, Country,
when I'm on Zoom, I like to wear my glasses.
They look great. I love them. And your hat, you always look great, though. Miss Fashionista.
Well, passion for fashion. More panache than cash these days. So.
Well, you're headed to the Franklin Theater here in just a little while. You're debuting your new single, Christmas Time Is Here, with us, which came, actually, the official release will be later in the month, November the 24th, right around Thanksgiving, which is when we expect these sort of things. My mailbox every day, Pam, is every artist who's recorded anything for Christmas, it's showing up in my mailbox with the release date in there. And so it's great to see that you've got Christmas Time Is Here coming our way. And
it's
the Franklin...
It's the only avalanche of snow you're going to get.
So is this
avalanche of Christmas music
in advance of a full Christmas project, or just something you wanted to do?
It is in advance. We just, the schedule just did not permit finishing the entire album, but I wanted something new out because it's been really a few years since I did a Christmas project. So we said, well, let's just put a little teaser out this year. And then we'll probably finish the project up in spring or early summer and have the whole thing completed and ready to roll in 2023.
Well, you're at the Franklin Theater again, 8 o'clock show tonight. Franklin Theater just south of Nashville, as people are listening and watching not only here in Metro Nashville, but around the world. And I got to believe that there are some wonderful Tillis family stories of Christmas that come to mind when you go in the studio and you record something like Christmas Time Is Here or a full Christmas album. What was life like around Thanksgiving and Christmas with your parents?
Country chaos. Country chaos. Wide open. Yeah. There was the time that Mom told us that Santa was going to show up, and I think I was 6. We had 6, a 4-year-old, a 2-year-old, and one just barely crawling. And but Mom told us that morning, she said, now Santa, we got a special visitor. That's what she said. She said, we got a special visitor showing up tonight. So you guys better be really good today, because it's no surprise. I can't tell you. But we took it to heart. We knew that we could tell by the sound of her voice. And so we did everything just perfectly. We cleaned our rooms. We cleaned our plates. We got in the bathtub without grumbling. She laid out little matching pajamas. So we thought there might even be a photo. I thought there might even be a photo op involved. So we had this whole thing set up. And so the doorbell rang, and we skittered across the, upstairs and down the stairs, and we slid through the living room like Tom Cruise in that movie, and we got to the front door, and we're all a little, we're standing there, and the door opens real slow. In my memory, it's all slow-mo. And all of a sudden there he stood, and he's in red velvet suit and a hat, and shiny black boots and a stack over his back, and he went, ho, ho, whoa. Well, there you go.
So who knew that your dad and Santa both stuttered?
Well,
huh?
I had a little inkling. He seemed familiar. The little ones, I don't know. It was all sensory overload. So anyway, Mom just kind of went, oh, brother. It's pretty funny.
See, I just knew. I knew before I knew there would be a great Pam Tillis Christmas story to go along with Christmas music. Hey, tell me about Grits and Glamour. That's next on your agenda. I was looking ahead. You're going to be in Baton Rouge on Friday of Veterans Day of this week, and then in Hinton, Oklahoma. And you got several dates for Grits and Glamour, as well as just Pam Tillis solo shows coming up on the road.
Yeah, I've got one more regular, I got a trio, one more regular trio show, and then I've got a couple full bands shows before the end of the year. Got two more Lori dates, I think, maybe three. Grits and Glamour still rolling. You know, for a couple of years, everything slowed down with the pandemic, and I wasn't. We've worked together over the span of a decade, and we still have a great time with it. We just updated that show a little bit. Speaking of updates, we just updated it a little bit, and we still have a blast together. So, and then I start with my own acoustic Christmas. December 2nd, I think, Bells and Bows, because we got some mean fiddle playing in there and some beautiful ladies that play and sing like angels. So that'll start early December. So yeah, just round, you know, we're coming into the home stretch, Bill. What can I say? We really don't take much of a break until the second week in February. We got the country cruise coming up. I think it's the end of January. I don't know. Just Google country cruise and you can find that. It's going to be great. I looked at the lineup and I was impressed. I'm like, wow, it's going to be super cool.
With you and Lori Morgan and Grits and Glamour, one of the things I remember when you guys got that going was, and I hope my memory serves me, you said that when the two of you were both on the charts on a regular basis and in that phase of your life and career, you weren't around each other a whole lot. Of course, you know, she being the daughter of George Morgan, Hall of Famer and Grand Ole Opry star, and your dad, Mel Tillis, Grand Ole Opry star and Hall of Famer. You didn't know each other all that well personally. Did I recall that correctly? It wasn't until some years later you had a chance to really get to know each other.
That's right. There was a crop of us second generation kids that started out, you know, on the early morning TV shows when Ralph Emery had the morning show, and that's where you started cutting your teeth in the biz, you know. And that's really how I first heard of Lori, is I know she would go on there sometime before school and she'd do the Ralph Emery show, and I was doing it too. Sadina Reed. There's a few of us that were, you know, following in our father's footsteps. And anyway, so the first time I saw her, second time I saw her, she was coming down the midway at the Tennessee State Fair with a ginormous teddy bear that I guess her then hubby Keith Whitley bought her, and they came down there. They were in a little, it was like a golden haze around them, and they were just happy and in love. And then years later, we teamed up for the Kraft Women of Country, and it was me and Carlene Carter and Lori. And even then, though, even after we went on tour, we were playing sheds. We were before the Dixie Chicks, before Lilith Fair, any of that. we were on a roll, and but we were still all kind of on separate buses, and our records would be out on the charts at the same time. There was a little bit of competitiveness. It was all just pressure. Everybody felt an immense pressure. You know, you lived and died by the charts, it seemed like. But you know, years later, we were out at the Grand Ole Opry, and we'd been talking about cooking up some kind of co-bill that would be fun. And Lori was out there performing, and my husband and I were standing in the wings, and we went, hey, wait a minute, we should try that again with her. And we went to lunch, and that was 10 years ago.
Well, Pam Tillis, tomorrow night is CMA Awards night. It's 56th year. The year I rolled into town to WSM Radio in the Grand Ole Opry.
Wow. It's 56th year.
94 was the year you were the CMA Female Vocalist of the Year. Did that let the pressure off just a little bit?
A little bit, but not much. You know, still had a little ways to go. But yeah, gosh, 56 years. Isn't that something?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I became an Opry member in 2000, which was now 22 years ago. And yeah, time is rolling on.
And then had a chance to induct your dad into Opry membership.
That's right. That's how it went down.
Yeah,
Because for many years he had to keep that 10, 11, 12-piece band employed out on the road, and the Opry pays radio scale, you guys. So Daddy would be out working. I say he finally slowed down long enough for the Opry to catch him. That's what happened.
All right. Well, tell us about.
He was excited. Well, once I got talk about competitiveness, once I got in there, he's like, "Well, shoot, I better get in there." So we got him in there.
Well, give us a preview of tonight's show at the Franklin Theater, and then we're going to roll with your new Christmas single a little advance.
Well,
you'll get to hear it here first.
Thank you. Yeah, this is another acoustic show. I love the acoustic show. I love my band too, but the acoustic show is a lot more chill. It's my musings, my meanderings, memories, and it's a lot of storytelling and hearing the songs in that beautiful stripped down way. It's more mandolin and fiddle and piano and acoustic guitar. It's a very different feeling. But anyway, we're going to have a good time. We're going to do a little bit of Christmas music, a little bit, and songs from my most recent album and the hits, which I'm grateful to have. And
well, listen,
I'm so happy that 30 years later, people are still showing up. So as long as they do, I will.
You know how I feel about you. You are a premier vocalist in this town.
Thank you.
The Opry Songbird. And again, Christmas time is here. Will be released November the 24th. But you get a little preview a couple of weeks early here on Election Day in America, November the 8th. And again, on Veterans Day, Friday, she's going to be in Baton Rouge.
And I think, Pam, for a lot of folks, first time they ever would have heard this song was a Charlie Brown Christmas. And while there are so many joyous Christmas songs, a lot of them are kind of melancholy. And this one has always been one of my favorites, but I kind of put in that little kind of wistful category of Christmas songs.
It is wistful. It's really funny. But, before you had a million channels and everything was streaming, and remember, Bill, how cool it was, and you guys remember how cool it was to wait for these television events every year. And that was part of the fun, was the anticipation, and we were just so excited when Charlie Brown came on. It was like, we went crazy. So I always loved this song, and there's several artists have done beautiful versions of it that I love. I love Sean Colvin's version, and then. Anyway, it's a classic, and but I started working with this gentleman, Corey Cottle, and he produced he's co-produced and produced, just put a huge, beautiful stamp. He's a showman piano player, and the rest of the album, it's got some jazziness to it, and allowed me to step out of the box a little bit. But we thought we'd start off with a Christmas classic for our first release.
All right. Well, will you get the album finished when it's completed? Please come back, because we would love to share that in its entirety. Pam Tillis, and Christmas time is here. Pam Tillis is here on Coffee, Country, and Cody, headed to the Franklin Theater tonight, 8 o'clock.
That's right. Thank you, Bill. Thank you, guys.
Christmas time is here. Happiness and cheer. Fun for all that children call their favorite time of year.
Thanks for listening to the Coffee, Country, and Cody podcast. Make sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode. And please leave us a 5-star review. This podcast was produced through the facilities of WSM Radio in Nashville, Tennessee. The hosts of Coffee, Country, and Cody are Bill Cody, Charlie Matos, and Kelly Sutton. Producer, Eric Markham. WSM General Manager and Director of Content and Programming, J. Patrick Tittle. Copyright 2022. Opry Entertainment Group Holdings, LLC.